So this is a live image of the marketing for games coming from Xbox in 2023. Yeah, they've been benched. Last week, and really more than that, many journalists, gamers, and especially Xbox fans were really confused as to why Xbox showed absolutely no new trailers for their games coming out next year at the Game Awards, at what is essentially E3 2.0. It was such a missed opportunity, and before we get pretty emotional about it, I want to lay out as to how that could have happened. Like, what are the 3 reasons as to how that happened, and what should change about those things? And it's your gaming weeb, Kibiji, here with more upcoming games from Xbox speculation, and really the lack of assurance from them. Why am I saying assurance? Well, the Game Awards was last week, and it was an amazing show. I have a video about that. And there was so many great game trailers at this show that apparently over 80 million people watch. There are so many eyes on the Game Awards, and it's the biggest night of the year in gaming. And you saw Phil Spencer there. You saw Sarah Bond there. There was Xbox present, but there was no showing of the things that they told earlier on in 2022 of the first party things that they are working on. I'm talking about Forza Motorsport. I'm talking about Redfall. I'm talking about Starfield. And a game that a lot of people don't mention in these videos, Minecraft Legends. That is the 4th. A lot of people keep forgetting that's a thing. And those games did not show up at this awards show. Nintendo was barely there with the new Bayonetta spinoff. You know, Sony, PlayStation was there, shockingly, with a new Death Stranding, with Returnal being ported to PC, with DLC for Horizon, with a trailer for the new Horizon VR game. The Game Awards was an opportunity for Xbox to close out a really weak year for Xbox. Even as a fan, you know, and fans will admit that it was a very weak year for Xbox. Other than Pentiment, which got great reviews, but it's a very tiny game. And other than As Dusk Falls, which is probably one of my favorite games of the year, but I understand that's not like a big game that's going to attract people. The Game Awards was that opportunity to take a shot to wrap out a really dry year, but they missed. They didn't even really take the shot to be able to reach the fans that are not Xbox fans. That's the most important thing about showing up to things that aren't your own. That's important why PlayStation needs to show things outside of State of Plays. It's why Nintendo needs to show things outside of their Nintendo Directs. And it's why Xbox needs to show things outside of their single showcase that they have every year. The single one. And this was that place to do it. And they've done it before. They revealed Perfect Dark. They revealed Hellblade. They've been here before, but this year they weren't there. They didn't take this chance to reach the general gaming populace. But why? There's 3 reasons as to why this is. And it might be just one. It might be a little bit of each. First reason. This is the one that I don't see too many people talking about, and it's the assurance. The assurance that these games are ready to go, that they can be shown off, that they are being developed, that they are nearly there. And that was another reason to show things at the show, is to give people that sense of like, oh yeah, these are going to be ready in 2023. We got dates for things that are going to be out in June next year, which is like the very end of the window that Xbox gave earlier this year for the June showcase. But perhaps these games just aren't ready to show again or at all right now. They just feel like they want to show these games when they are in their prime. They don't want to have a CGI release date trailer. They want to show the games, and I respect that. And if that's the case, then maybe these games just aren't confidently ready for them to show again. And maybe the next time they do want to show them, they want to have a release date on them. But that could be one reason. These games aren't necessarily where they want them to be, and they don't want to show them off quite yet. Reason number 2, and the one that I personally am the most on board with, is the legal battlefront that Xbox, aka Microsoft, is on right now. Microsoft is under so many eyes, probably the most eyes that we have had in the gaming industry currently, because of their deal trying to get Activision Blizzard king. And it is the biggest gaming acquisition we have had. Well, I guess it's second biggest technically, but it's huge. It's a big deal. We have gotten so many insights on the industry through this deal, and it's created the biggest feud that Sony and Microsoft have had, and it's such a tragic thing. But it's the big tragic thing for us fans, on just the consumers, is the lack of reveals. For those that love hype, this deal is killing the hype. There were rumors back in October that PlayStation had a banger showcase to have with the Silent Hill 2 remake, with potential the Kojima reveal, with other things that were going to be in a dope-ass PlayStation showcase that we haven't had in a long time. And it's rumored that they canceled it because they don't want to give credence to, these legality situations. And now Xbox is under that same limelight or whatever, so they also want to play a very cautious game, but they're also being sued by the FTC right now. And they don't want to give any ammo to these people that are fighting this deal, so they don't want to show anything that is about them having exclusives. And that's so frustrating to see two of the big three players not showing things because they don't want to give credence to this legality battle that I just want to be over already, that a lot of us just want to be over already, so we could just be back in the world of hype game trailers, of exclusives, of just playing and getting excited for games. But the third reason that actually has some potential credence to it, Xbox is saving things for their own event. This is something that Xbox fans have been screaming about all year, especially earlier on in the year, because there was a big drought and we wanted more information, and it was getting exhausting seeing state of plays happen, seeing Nintendo Directs happen, even seeing little indie worlds from Nintendo happen. But Xbox never had anything. They had an ID Xbox showcase. They had their usual summer showcase, but that summer showcase is the only one that they did this year. They need more. They need to have something spread throughout the year, and that's something we've all been saying for a while. And Aaron Greenberg, the guy that's in charge of the marketing at Xbox, after the Game Awards, he did put out a tweet. That was him, acknowledging, we see you guys freaking out. We're going to be there. Don't worry. You don't have to wait that long for more information about our games and what's coming. That's not him confirming that they might have an event in the works. Also, it's not confirming that, I think earlier on this year, they hired somebody to help make events or whatever happen. It's not all confirmation, but it all might be building up to them wanting to save things for their own events. Assurance, legal Battlefront, Xbox events. Fans are angry right now. They are. Even Ryan McCaffrey from IGN, who is the host of their Xbox podcast, he wrote a whole blog article about this, and it's actually a really good read. I recommend. And he says in it at some point, in terms of the platform, in terms of the deals, in terms of creating partnerships, in terms of all these things, Xbox is killing it. But in the games department, we are tired of waiting. In terms of seeing these great gameplay showcases and marketing things, we are tired of waiting. We've talked about it for years. Xbox is building up a lot of long play effects, getting Bethesda, getting all these new studios, trying to reach to Activision Blizzard. They're trying to build a super duper huge long game effect to knock all these dominoes over that are just going to keep falling and falling and falling with so many IPs and studios under them that there'll never be a shortage. In fact, it'll probably make us at like a buffet where we're overeating. There's going to be too much. But when is that domino going to get knocked over? 2021 looked like the kickoff to that. And they splurred out so much at the end of the year. There was Halo Infinite, there was Psychonauts 2, there was Age of Empires 4, there was the console port of Microsoft Flight Sim, Forza Horizon 5, which got Game of the Year from IGN. It was great. And Deathloop came to PlayStation. And they just went totally quiet after that. And they had nothing this year because they had to push back Redfall and Starfield. Did they do that to make sure that those would be the kickoff to that domino effect where they have so many things in development that they can finally consistently start releasing, with Redfall, Starfield, Forza Motorsport, and Minecraft Legends being the kickoff early next year, and then maybe having one or two other fall games at the end of the year? I don't think people are saying they need to have more than just one or two other things. Bullshit. If you have if you have 4 or more first-party releases in the year, that is fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. Now, obviously, you want the games to be good, but not every single one is going to be that. But we might get 5 or 6. But what they need to do is spread things out. Spread things out so it's not a big burst like they did in 2021's back half. So it's not a big burst like they're potentially setting up in the early half of 2023. Spread it out. Make sure no 2 games release within like 1 or 2 months of each other. Have these marketing events scattered throughout the year. If you see Gamescom, show up to Gamescom. If you want to have an earlier show, have an earlier show. If you want to have your November celebration, have your November anniversary celebration. Spread out your marketing, spread out your game releases, and you're set. People aren't going to be mad anymore. Yes, make good games, obviously. But at this point, people are not going to agree on what is a quality good game anymore. Because I guess getting over 80 on Metacritic isn't being a quality good game, but that's my opinion, and that's something that people are going to disagree with. But so that's what happened. Xbox laid out what is going to be in the first half of 2023 in the video you see on screen here. So check that out if you want to be reminded, because they're not going to remind you. And it's about trust. Are they going to earn trust next year? Let me know in the comments. Like, how do they fix this? What do they do? And will next year finally be the year that a consistent Xbox emerges?